Hello and welcome to another session of Hearts of Wulin, Numberless Secrets. My name is Lowell, pronouns he, him, and we are in the midst of our mystery legend of Bad Valley. And we saw Bao Shi get dragged to Bad Valley, uh, pulled before Gracious Wasp, who is the child of the former leader of Bad Valley, drafted into helping out solving the apparent murder of their father, Wheelwright Hantai. And then we saw Lin and Song Da and the other person arrive there at the valley and get drawn in. And they met people from the three families, the Ru clan, the two parents there who lead, and their son, the doctor, who's a friend of Lin. And of course, we also would see on screen with that, we see Lin's assistant, Pearl Mist, and the patient that is Runyan's patient, Ji Minglang, this swordsman who came here, who kind of provided that evidence about that broken blade tip, and the child that they brought here with them that has grown up into a young person that's here. We saw the Shao clan with their black magic blade, and with the son who kind of doesn't want to take over, the daughter doesn't want to take over, the wife of the son, Blossom Devouring Guardian. And of course, we saw bits of the Jun family, who we've already seen before with Songbird Jun, Nighthawk Jun,
That'll be good.
the two sisters, and the Laughter and Flame priest. And last time we also saw Crystal Bao Bao talking with Song Da. And we also saw First Orchid is there kind of as an assistant. And we also, at the very end, saw the presence of Songbird Yun, who appeared in a disguise there at the very end. And you put together a few clues. Bao Shi has been the strong clue gatherer today, so I definitely want to give people other people a bite at the apple to get some more clues out here. As far as wishes go, there was talk about exploring more of the history of Bad Valley. There was some discussion about doing some matchmaking and wanting to see what was going on with the whole uh, thing there, seeing more of Crystal Bao Bao. Uh, and there was also a request by Sinai, whose name still hasn't been changed, for a hot springs scene. So let us then actually begin with Sinai. Uh, we are later in that day. This is the day that the body was discovered in the morning of uh, uh, Chow, the leader of the Chows there, Chow Wuji, who Bao Shi participated in the autopsy of last time. So Janai, you would know that Song Da and Chow Lin have returned. You know that they had a meal with the Ruse. Um, what is it that you want to do? You've had a conversation with Nyan, you've had a conversation with some people there. You know that Bao Shi has finished up with the autopsy. What is your next goal, your next project here?
Let's see here. I think there's a certain part of the thing that I'm a little like weirded out by,
Okay.
because we've heard mention of the Juns like being in some sort of hot water because their their secrets were stolen, correct?
Yes.
And we know that the wicked monk had those,
The wicked
correct?
priest from that last mystery was the person who came here and apparently took them
Took them.
or gained them. It's unclear right now what happened there.
Yeah, and that was the thing that I wanted to clarify is when we found those books, were they like in the possession of the monk or in the possession of Indigo Judgment?
They were in the possession of that monk, that priest.
Okay, okay, good. I just wanted to be clear.
Sure.
And then, but so they said that that was a problem, but does that mean that they haven't discovered that it was the monk that took them?
Yeah. So yeah, they apparently still don't know who did that. You know that sort of second hand from Baoshi that Songbird Yun had been kind of been set to kind of try and follow up on that and had been kind of relatively unsuccessful about it.
Okay. Um,
Do you want to talk to the Yun family?
yeah.
Who do you want to talk to? That charming young man, laughter and flame priest who seemed there, or do you want to talk to one of the sisters, or do you want to talk to the boss?
They're all dangerous. I hesitate, but I do think that since Songbird Jun was supposed to find this out, it makes sense to speak to him about it. Does that make any sense so that he can do with it what he
So you're saying you'd like to sort of after Bao has been alerted that Songbird is here and heads out, you want to have spotted Songbird and catch him.
would that be okay?
Tyler, are you good with that? So Janai, tell me how it is that you recognize Songbird after he's kind of perhaps revealed his hand a little bit in going to see Bao.
I, here's the thing, I know how exhausting it is when you do that sort of a cover cover up and things like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So essentially what it is that I wait until the person that I think was the one that was doing, I mean, like I had kind of caught it and I don't think this is the original person, so I would go. And I would just wait until they get to that point where they would have that chance to sort of relax out of that thing and switch back
Kind of
over.
follow them as they've left the building and they're moving throughout. They kind of move off across the bridge away and
Mhm.
into one of these hostels there, clearly to kind of get themselves set. And you will are you in the room before they get there, or do you knock on the door, or what does that look like?
Um, that's a good idea. I think actually probably being there as soon as I understand where they're going into that house, like, oh, there's only that one room that you could do that,
Okay.
so I will, um, so yeah, I will pop in from the other
Okay.
side, sort of as they come in.
They will be startled,
Okay,
but they compose themselves quickly.
and I say, hello, it's been some time.
It has been some weeks, yes.
I have it to understand that you were supposed to be looking for some lost secrets.
I was told to recover some lost secrets. Uh, and I was given a deadline and I did not meet that deadline. However, the person who gave me that deadline is themselves now apparently dead.
Okay.
However, um, let us say that that what my status is currently is unclear.
So at some point, some documents showed up in the investigation in the temple. She goes, and she will describe one of them that she knows is one of the June secrets.
Uh,
And then she will describe the poison that was used on Grave of Saints.
yes, yes, yes. The problem is this, he says. He looks around very carefully. Someone in my family gave up those secrets. And I know it was not me, though I was heavily under suspicion, which is why I volunteered and why I was given such a deadline. So I fear that if they realize I am here, that they will make some move against me.
So, and how long ago was it that Grave of Saints lost his eyesight? It was like, it felt like 5 or 6 years, maybe,
Oh,
or longer.
I actually have to go back here.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I have to roll back. I thought you were talking about the poison that was used against
Black
that
Pearl,
Black
no,
Pearl.
no,
No,
no, I knew that. I was talking
no,
about the thing that wiped memory um, and,
yeah. So that is not something that he would know about.
okay, but,
If you if you ask June about that, he's like, that's not what our poisons do.
okay. So that was a separate book that was found separately from
Yeah,
the things
and
that the wicked
that
monk
was in
did.
the hand. That was in
That
the
was in the
hands
hands. Oh, okay.
of Indigo
Sorry,
Judgment.
sorry.
Yeah,
I am very sorry
yeah,
about that. Okay.
yeah. That's that sort of mind altering, memory eating draught
Okay.
versus and the blinding thing versus the poisons that the June family
Exactly.
use.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay. Good. So when I ask him about that, he would be unfamiliar with that one.
correct,
So good.
correct.
Okay, that's good. And she kind of nods and says, there are a lot of unpleasant things that we came across. Um, she sort of stops and says, if there's anything I can do to assist you in this, if you can't look into the person that you suspect, perhaps I can obliquely.
Don't have suspicions at this moment. I do not know that. I I am shocked that Wheelwright Tantai is dead. They they were a omnipotent figure for me growing up, and it makes me very nervous.
I note that at least a number of the family members seem to think that he is probably still alive. She sort of stops and she goes, if there's anything I can do, it is.
I my hope. Uh, uh, I hope to have a chance to speak with Baoshi. I He is here in a pit of vipers, and I would not wish this on him. or you for that matter.
Oh,
It's,
no, no. I understand, of course. That's fine.
the
Um,
one thing I would ask is, I have seen someone moving around a stranger in the valley, who I know wishes me ill. So if you could perhaps run interference with First Orchid for me. I know that she does not approve of me.
yes, I will see. But she does have very good instincts, I'll say, as I leave.
Uh, Chow Lin, uh, you've returned back. You've given Song Da, I don't want to say a dressing down, but an explanation of the present circumstances and how the world operates. You've had this lovely meal with the masters of uh, the royal family, uh, and Rue family, and gained some insight onto the dynamics of the two heads there. Um, what do you want to do next?
Okay. Someone may have already done this and I forgot because I was half asleep for a good part of last session.
Fair
Sorry.
enough.
Um, but if no one has done it, wait, I'm pretty sure someone has. Never mind.
Okay.
Um, uh, let me look at these NPCs then. Uh,
You, of course, have locations to check. Certainly, there are various quarters and houses and things like that as well beyond the NPCs to talk to.
yeah. Actually, I want to go talk to Runyan, but I want to take a look at this broken sword.
Okay.
But I want to like get the tip and like kind of compare them and see if there's anything weird about it.
Absolutely. You essentially can go back. You know, you will see that figure. Ji Minglang is seated in that cauldron. They will look up as you come in, and they will say, the doctor is performing the autopsy with your companion.
Oh, good. That's then he will have the sword tip.
I have the sword and the sword tip.
Oh, may I see them? I won't take it out of your sight.
He'll kind of look over where the table where that sword tip is, the one you compared the
Hmm.
other day, and he will kind of leans forward, and you can see he is heavily scarred, clearly years of a warrior. But of course, he sits up and skin glistens as he does that. We get that shot. There's maybe even a shot where he kind of starts to come up, but the camera lifts up there, and he'll reach over for the sword and hold the sheath and the sword out to you.
Cool. Um, Yeah, I want to examine, I want to see not just does it fit perfectly, but if there's any additional like damage or scratches or anything on it to
Interesting.
suggest that like this sword tip has could possibly have been removed and placed in a different skeleton. That's what I'm curious about, really.
Absolutely. That feels like a study roll.
Okay. It seems like water.
Okay.
No. Snake eyes.
So I think there is a moment when you pick up that piece and you're kind of holding it and you realize this is not that same piece, that same sword tip that was here yesterday. Like it's
Oh,
close, but this is a different piece. Like that
okay.
like that quality of the metal is a little bit different. And as someone has made a quick replica, but this is definitely not it.
Okay. Think, look at him. Do you realize this isn't the original?
My sword? What do you mean?
The broken off tip? Here, look. And I'll show him. It's not quite right. Look at the color of the metal. It's
Uh, you are right. No, it is not. And he'll look over and goes, uh, I do not know what to tell you.
so
My
you don't have it. You didn't replace it then.
no, I did not.
Oh,
I unfortunately and see him pause, and he's very cautious in what he says. Next, he says, I am I am reputed to be very aware of my surroundings. I have built up that image here so that I am not threatened by anyone, but I will admit that that is not always the case. People have been back through here and others could have come in, and it is possible that I would not have noticed.
yeah, I can see that. This seems to be a pretty busy place.
We
Um,
get a lot of people with a lot of injuries here.
you know, you and Bad Valley have a lot in common. Uh,
And you see his
your
face like he
reputation.
gets little, hmm.
You have a reputation for being much more dangerous than you are. I'm not saying you're not dangerous. I'm not saying the valley isn't dangerous. Uh, Neither is infallible.
I I once was a man who lived up to that reputation. But I was I was betrayed. And let us leave it at that.
All right, fair enough.
Uh well I
Um, do me a favor, please. I know you don't really have any reason to, but if only to preserve your own reputation, please don't tell anyone that this isn't the original.
I will endeavor to follow your instructions.
Appreciate it.
He'll sink back into the cauldron. Perhaps a more brooding look on his face. Baoshi, you have finished up with the autopsy, chatting there with Runian. You had that brief pass through of Songbird Yun kind of giving you the heads up that they are present,
Yes.
making you a little nervous. What is it that you want to do now?
I I figure I will see Songbird you soon enough.
Mm-hmm.
But as I'm going to, make my departure from the brother sister team here. I think I've told them and found out about as much as I can. Um, yeah, as I said, I will look into this and hopefully can give you some comfort as to this untimely death. And we'll take First Orchid as we go back and begin heading towards, I guess it's like the main structure where I was held
As you
originally.
come out of that household, there is a moment when you see the lady of the house, Blossom Devouring Guardian, will come to you and will.
Oh,
It has been an honor to meet you, Master Baoshi.
well, thank you very, very much. I hope that I can be of some help to you and your family.
I'm sure you can. And you will note
Did
that
she touch me? Was that what
yes,
that
she has
motion was?
pressed a small slip of paper into your hand that says, "I hope that we can meet privately later."
Hmm. Um, I would say I have I am on my way to speak with Wasp, right? Wasp, yes. Um, uh, before I go and change for dinner, um, uh, perhaps perhaps there will be no, it'll be more like I look forward to seeing you later, sort of thing. That gives an idea of
Sure.
where to catch me without being too obvious.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, and so First Orchid kind of is following behind you.
did you notice anything as we're heading towards the main fortress back?
Back
Literally,
across
I'm
those.
trying to get to the room where I was unmasked. The throne room is where I'm
Okay.
making a walk towards.
All right.
But as we're walking, well, First Orchid, did you notice anything unusual during our visit?
Beyond that, all of these people seem to be duplicitous and full of lies and alternate motivations.
Well, most people are that, unfortunately. But it is interesting that brother and sister both do not wish to take control of the family, but I'm not entirely sure that the wife has the same hesitations.
She seems to have ample assets and ambitions.
Assets often help with ambition, yes. Um, but nothing else particularly unusual you saw?
I do not have a baseline Baoshi to measure these people against. Normally, there would be standards of civility and decorum and so on I could measure against. That's how I judge how I judge people. But here they are operating very, very oddly.
Hmm. Yes, there's a lot that they are trying to hide, and I fear that there is a lot being hidden even from them. But there's I'm actually relieved that she did not notice Songbird. So that was a little of my wheedling as we
Oh,
get
yeah.
over there. And as we're moving through, this may be if I have a suspicion, and perhaps your expertise may be very, very useful. And I'm going to kind of, if I could get to that throne room, hopefully, I'm trying to see if Wasp is there. I'd rather Wasp was not, but it
Okay.
is what it is.
Well, what is it what is your intent here? Well, we'll say that they are not there for the moment.
Okay.
Is there a move you want to do here?
Well, what I'm wanting to do is I think there may be some secret way into the under part of this place inside of this throne room. So
So,
that's what I'm searching for.
okay.
And I
Uh,
will let First Orchid know, and maybe her keener, younger senses will help in that as well. But I'm not.
what do you want to roll this with?
Oh, let's see. I suppose this is actually probably water. It's awareness, that sort of thing. All right. Come on. That's a 9.
That is a 9. Uh, so what is your question or what is your declaration?
I think I'm going to make the declaration that there is indeed a secret way into the more ancient parts of this
Yeah,
structure.
this structure. We're in this valley. You know that it's kind of built on some ruins and things like that. And I think you will find, and it is very, very well made. And there is definitely a sliding passage down. One of those things where it'd be very easy and quick for someone to kind of flip around to the back of the chair and slide down into some underchambers.
First Orchid, we're going to proceed, but I want you to allow me to go forward first. And if you could be as quiet as possible. Yes.
I don't mean to object, but I'm going to. Might I suggest that you perhaps inform at least one of your comrades about what we're about to do, so that if our headless corpses are found floating in some body of water, they are aware of what has occurred.
Yeah, I was going to suggest that if something happens to me, you run. But yes, there may be some wisdom to what you say. Eh, yes. Very, very thoughtful. I'm sure I would have come to the same conclusion given a little moment of time.
Certainly, certainly. Yes, if you want, we can put this back the way it was. I am gifted at that and conceal it so that no one is the wiser, and we can go and find your comrades.
Yes, 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 yes. And thank you, First Orchid.
Song Da, you have returned back, had this meal with the Rue family, and you've had this conversation with Chow Lin. What do you want to do?
I was wondering if I would be able to look around Wheelwright's rooms.
Absolutely. Head into that sort of nicer, kind of palatial area that is reserved for Wheelwright Hantai, and their family. And what do you want to roll this with?
So I want to look around both their, their personal room and equivalent of like study or, their main
Mhm.
where they would do their daily stuff room. Um, I think Song Da would be good with like finding hidden messages or ciphers within written language.
Sure.
He's also got a really encyclopedic knowledge of like heraldry and clans, family symbolism. Um, so those are the sort of things that he's looking for. Anything that would tell about wheelwright's past and where they came from, or anything that would tell about like their most recent plans, their current plans, sort of stuff.
Okay.
So I think that's. I think it's probably wood. This
Okay.
is a lot of stuff in 2 big rooms of someone that I don't know. So
Okay.
there's got to be a lot of patience of weeding out a lot of nonsense and unimportant things. So let's see if Songda can stay focused that long.
Okay.
Well, I did twice as good as Shaolin. I rolled 2s.
So you have a 5. Are you burning bombs?
What do I have there?
You have a 5. I could do comfort and support and join you, if you wanted.
Yeah, that would give me 2 with you, and then I could
Okay.
spend those.
All right. So let me see if I can do the comfort and support. Maybe I can roll 2 3s and get a
Just working our way up.
Absolutely.
We can't all be bouncy. Oh Lord. Okay. So what did I close already? Ask me the question.
That would be the roller.
Yes. Okay.
Don't need this extra tab.
Exactly.
Just getting in the way.
I don't even know how I do it. Okay. So here we go. I am rolling 2d6. I am adding, I think probably water.
Okay.
So there we go. Okay. So 2d6. That's a 7.
So,
That gives me 8 or 9.
okay. So you'll be able to spend that bond, and if Song Da spends a bond, it will get you to that 7 to 9. And so on a 7 to 9 with that, that gives you 1 hold or 2 hold if you'd like to pay a cost.
So, there you are.
Take 2 hold and we'll pay the cost together. There we go. That's like half the cost.
Let me start with Smiling Proud Wanderer.
Okay.
Are there any secret compartments or hidden drawers in here?
In his rooms and chambers? Yeah, I think there are a host of them.
Oh. Again, signal
That's
from
why
noise.
you needed me. So much to go through. You needed a secretary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's the last of them. No, wait, there's another. Yeah, going through some of those hidden compartments. What does it look like their most recent plans involving the families of Bad Valley were?
Okay. Now, is this you spending the hold?
Yes, this is getting into the
Okay,
hold itself.
so you're spending the hold.
Yes.
So I think you will definitely see that he has notations that kind of go along with what you've already got, in the sense that let me go back. Wheelwright Tentai had strong suspicions and feelings about each of the other families. And there's definitely the sense from what you're seeing that he had accumulated enough sort of evidence and such to suggest that, like, he might need to just eliminate one of those families to make a point. But the other thing that is there, beyond the sort of the notes on, these these people are fools, the Jun family has lost control of the secrets, and the black magic blades, he's out of control and such. Beyond that, there are notes on apparently another unnamed, like, family.
What?
The suggestion there in his notes is that there he had plans, they had plans to establish a new family, eliminate one of the current families and establish a new one.
Oh.
Does that feel like a fair piece of information?
Yes. I would like to push that move then.
And what is that? Well, you've already spent the one. You spent the one
well,
hold, and you've done the study. So you have you could push to get another hold to ask another question.
mhm.
Is that what you want to do?
That is what I want to do.
What is your question?
Who was to be the head of that clan?
Who was to be the head of that clan? Let's see. And this is you pushing that, right?
Yeah, the gain an extra hold if you take a cost.
Absolutely. It gives no specifics, except it talks of a clan of dark historians, of historians who will change history as Bad Valley wishes it.
What? No.
Wait,
no,
is
no,
the
no,
ink dry
no.
on that one?
This is this is ridiculous. This is insane. This is heresy.
What?
It's
What did we
definitely not
study?
history.
Sort of stops and goes, I mean, clearly there's some precedent for thinking that such a group could exist.
What, a group of lying propagandists who just shape events in history as they see them? This is unheard of. This is beyond the pale. I thought that there was honor left in Bad Valley. I thought that there was something noble saved in these bad circumstances, but this is dark.
Well, I mean, there was Indigo Judgment making a case that it could work for at least a couple decades.
Well, that was an aberrant situation, a one-time bad.
I mean, he had a lot of
just
people,
slipped through the.
historians included, under his thumb that whole time. A lot of people.
That's I wouldn't. You
I
can't
just
say.
think that there's probably some people among the scholars who haven't been recognized and, probably could be swayed. Not all of them are as successful as you, certainly.
Songda grabs the edge of a desk and like sits down hard in a chair. He's trying to catch his breath. This is no, we have to stop, Barry. This cannot. This is not a thing. It's very bad, Janai.
Yeah, so we have to do what?
Stop it. Make it not. Forget, Barry. Undo.
And she kind of goes, so we'll pack these up so that when we leave, we take these with us.
Yes.
Oh,
Now we have to begin a hunt. Hunt for liars.
oh goodness,
Liars
no.
who are
We
twisting
have to
knowledge.
find Tantai. We just have to make sure he's dead, right?
Wait, so is the skeleton not? I thought they're very clear about that being. Is that not Tantai?
Well, let's make sure it is.
Yes.
Let's take our break here. Let's take 10 and then we'll come back, okay?
I decided my entanglement was the 11th hound. Made me promise to protect last Song Janai. But she would be offended if she knew, so I haven't said anything about that.
Would be offended. I can't wait to-
You are muted, dear.
I guess I kept the recording going and forgot to pause it during that whole thing. Delightful.
Oh, no.
Rich will be very upset with me, but he doesn't listen to these, so it doesn't matter.
So he's only
No.
theoretically upset with you.
Theoretically
Yes,
upset.
yes, theoretical Rich is upset.
There's a consistency to that, though.
It's the principle of the thing.
Yes. So let's come back to Janai then.
Yeah.
What do you want to do? What do you want to look into? What do you want to investigate here?
So here's the thing. I know that Gracious Wasp has stood in for Tantai. I am, how should we say, familiar with this sort of thing, having done this for Blue Mountain Scholar. So I think that one of the things is that I kind of look to see how it is that he communicates these issues to her, like where his doc is. Again, ciphers and codes are my thing, but also I know that thing of like,
And by them, you mean Wheelwright Tantai?
yeah,
Okay.
Wheelwright Tantai, like what the instructions kind of thing, like how it was that they communicated. So I get a sense of what of this stuff Wasp has probably seen, gone through, that kind of thing.
All right.
Knows.
So what do you want me to make that study roll with?
Oh, that's a good question. Let's see here. Sometimes you gotta look at your character. Let's see here. Yeah, I think this is water, kind of like awareness. Just I'm assuming a sort of parallelism.
Okay.
But she's open to it not being set up like her uncle.
Okay.
So so I'm rolling +2, it's a 2d6. I rolled a 10, so that's a 12.
Okay. So on a 12 plus, you gain 3 hold.
Okay. I think I'll get a clue while I'm looking for this information. But
So let me give you that first,
okay.
and then we can talk about that. I think one of the things that you will note, and this is in you kind of looking around the chambers that Wheelwright used and so
Mhm.
on, is that there is a piece of sort of machinery that is somewhat out of place here. And it is a large bronze earthquake detector. And you will realize that it seems very sensitive. And you begin to suspect that there may be maybe mechanisms or things, something other places in town that maybe that could be kind of played like an instrument in some ways, kind of tipped or moved or create a sound like that at a distance to kind of carry messages that way. But also that there are kind of what look to the untrained eye like nicks and marks and things on the outside because it's kind of a suspended thing on a balance point thing
Mm-hmm.
that could actually kind of be turned maybe to particular positions to mark out like something not a sophisticated thing, but like if you see that it's in this position, that means this thing kind of thing. Does that seem like a fair clue?
Yeah, it's sort of like a message board in a machine, isn't it? And it can send them like across the. Ooh, I have to look for the other parts of this, but that's very interesting.
And what is your third hold? You want to reveal a detail or ask a question?
I think it'll reveal a detail.
Okay.
So just because I love this stuff, and then it gives me something to go from.
So you've got the clue there. Did you put that in the mystery map?
The clue, yeah, piece
Yeah,
of
okay.
machinery, large bronze earthquake detector, very sensitive. I always said sensible, but it's sensitive. So very different things.
Okay.
Yes.
And so what detail do you want to establish?
Just establish a detail. I think that okay. I think that there's that I kind of do discover the thing where sort of their basic sort of back and forth is. I would say more like notes. Again, it's all in a code. It's not that I can read it right off the top of my head. I just know that that's what that is.
Okay.
It's that because I can see two people's writing going back and forth, and if it makes any sense.
Okay. And that's separate from this mechanism that some other piece that you find?
Exactly. But I think but what the real detail is that I realize that there is something there, and it has that very short message on it. It's like something that's packed and like wrapped in wax and wax paper and things like that, and it has a very short message on it. And it's that thing that almost where all of that time with my ciphers and stuff like that, I know that the short messages are that pithy thing that they know, and I just have that feeling that it's, if I don't return, it's that kind of message, and that Wasp hasn't touched that yet, like whatever it is that Tantai left for them. Okay.
So there's something. Let me ask you this, but to clarify, is it has Wasp seen this and has not opened it, or has Wasp not seen this?
I'm going to guess that Wasp has seen it because they have left notes after the ones from Tantai, so that like if Tantai came back, Tantai would check these if they didn't see Wasp first.
So they've held themselves away from kind of giving in and opening that up. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
That sounds good. Shaolin, where do we want to see you at here?
I think I need to find out what Storm June is up to. And am I going to do that by actually talking, or am I going to do that by spying? I think I'm going to start out by lurking around and spying.
Okay. Then let's have you. How do you want to roll that?
Oh, good question. Let's see. I think that's Earth.
Okay.
7, my first actual successful roll in a while.
All right. So I think one of the things that you will see here, kind of, and I'll give you kind of the basic, then you can ask a question, is that there's a point at which they kind of clearly watching the hours, and as it gets on dusk, they head back to their family quarters, and you will see them go in, and they very clearly have a very sealed, not hermetically sealed, but very carefully controlled sort of building that they are working in. And I think that you will note that they, like, you can probably see the glow of fireflies in there. And I think that you will, well, see them working on that, and they're very intent about it. Like, more than the other Junes, they seem like focused, like they have a purpose. They have an energy that the others have been a little more, holding themselves back, kind of watching. So what is your question here?
I want to know if they're acting on their own or as part of like the June family. Are they being like, is this their own thing, or is it are they like doing what their father told them?
They seem very driven. There's clearly something going on. They're clearly like taking care of their insects and being diligent about that and so on. And I think the sense that you have is they are trying to make up for something, that they
Okay.
are kind of that kind of pressure where you see somebody who's trying too hard
Right.
to do what they're doing, that they are pushing themselves.
Okay.
And to the extent that, like, when her sister Thornburg comes to check on her, Stormcray's like, I have to keep doing this, and her sister kind of goes on and heads away.
Okay. So it's not like secret from the others, but they're okay.
No, that you suspect that they are worried or guilty about something right now.
Okay.
Does that seem
Cool,
like a
cool.
fair answer?
Yes,
Okay.
that's good.
Bao Shi, do you want to try and gather your crew together? Do you want to inform them about what you found out, or speak with them privately, or do you want to do something else before you gather them?
I think I probably want to give opportunity for Blossom Devouring to get a chance to speak with me
Okay.
before. So I have, returned back to my quarters. As I had said I would.
And there is that sort of knock at the door, and then it opens, and you will see Blossom Devouring Guardian there, and she will say, Master Bao Shi, I hope I am not intruding on your time.
Of course not, Lady Blossom. How may I be of service?
I just hope that I could have a word with you, conversation perhaps. It is not often that I have the opportunity to speak to such an illustrious detective, such a man of the world whose reputation precedes him in such a way.
You flatter me.
Now, it is no flatter to speak of someone, and she's kind of, I mean, stories that are told of you and your skills.
Well, I admit that some of my exploits have received perhaps undeserved attention.
No, you're far too modest. You are a hero. Modesty does, no good. You
Oh,
should.
please, no, no, no. May I offer you refreshment?
Please, please. But no, no, no. Why don't you let me pour?
Robinson, I think you're trying to seduce me.
And about she, let's have you roll inner conflict here for a second. I think this is a little
yeah,
unusual
this
for
is
you.
not what I was expecting this
Right.
to be. All right. I think I'm rolling with the Earth. Cause yeah, I think this is cautioned. I got an 8.
Okay. So do you want to remain here in the scene, or are you going to withdraw when she is so forward and up in your space?
I must say that I am I don't have terribly long to I hate to rush, but I do need to cut our conversation relatively short. I'm afraid.
Oh, that's too bad, but it's okay. And she'll put her hand on your arm and she'll say, I like it when they run a little.
Oh, is that so? Well,
Well, I will perhaps we might speak longer at more at length later, Master Baushi.
perhaps so. Yes, yes.
And
And
she will
and
note your discomfort, and she is amused, like she very clearly notes it and withdraws.
yeah, I'm sort of overwhelmed because as it definitely was not what I was expecting, and I think the wine I had poured, I think I drink the one I poured for myself and look down at the one I poured for her and drink it too.
Absolutely. Can you roll overcome for me?
Certainly. Oh
Oh,
dear.
no.
Um, is this something just
What do
so
you
I'll
think
know
it
what
is
I'm
to
rolling with?
resist kind of being a little bit drugged?
Oh, being a little bit drugged, you say? Um, I get. I hate to go to my strongman, but it seems like control.
Oh, that's certainly a one you could roll there.
Oh dear. All right. I guess I'm rolling that. I got an 11.
Okay. I think that you will kind of clamp down. I think you will realize you have enough control of your inner reserves and the flow of energies, and you will realize that you've been given something very mild, but something clearly intended to make your tongue loosened, let us say.
Oh, I see.
Kind of
Hmm.
because you feel a little that kind of a little more chatty, a little more, you know, and you will clamp down on that.
No,
Does
not
that
just
seem fair?
seduction, but poisoning.
It's more drugging than poisoning, but it's, potato, potato.
Yes.
Uh, so yeah, let me do Song Da and then we'll like bring the group together. How does that
Yeah.
sound? Song Da, you've had this horrible moment with Janai looking around, finding these papers and learning of the dark historians. Bad Valley's dark historians.
We finally found the true mystery. All these dead bodies were a red herring. Um, I think he sort of panics and tries to call out to Crystal Bow Bow again.
Well,
Oh, no.
send another message out.
Yes. Yes. And
Uh,
he's like, no, I shouldn't do that. Challen said I shouldn't do that. But if I get her back here, then I know she's not spreading any stories somewhere else that she's not supposed to be. So this is actually responsible.
what do you want to roll that with? This is kind of an
Speed
overcome.
and passion.
Okay. Let's have you roll.
Fire. It's a 9.
That is a 9. So, unless you want to spend a bond, I think you will be noted sending out another pigeon.
What? Well, I mean, that's people have pets. I'm sure lots of people here play with birds.
So you will be seen doing that.
By whom will he be seen?
Oh, I'm not saying.
By the camera? Oh no!
Around the corner.
Peeking up behind a bush.
Yes. And I think that, probably about half an hour will pass before you'll receive a reply back that will say, I will meet you a little ways outside of the town at midnight.
Well, that's okay. That's actually better. There'll be few people to see me at midnight. There'll be dark. Then I can really be stealthy.
Absolutely, with your, your amazing lightness is just a matter of stealth. By the way, are you still muscles?
Yes. I I think having gone back to his room and paced back and forth trying to figure out what to do, he sees a like paper wrapped package where he had convinced someone in Gracious Wasp's household here to go out and get him some, proper bodyguarding intimidation clothes because he'd just been making do with things so far and he really needed to make a statement. And despite his best efforts to be very clear about the styling of everything, he opens up and finds and then walks out of his room confidently wearing a bright sunny yellow silk affair with like intense purple embroidery on it of I think like a squirrel in a death battle against a monkey. And it's got a full on like not just a rag wrapped around his face, but a full on like lower face mask. And because he made sure to overemphasize how martial everything should look, it also has no sleeves, which shows off his very thin arms. Maybe sort of ruins the effect a little bit. But
I think you will see Laughter and Flame Priest kind of walking along with his backpack, and you see him, he sees you and like stops.
I'll raise an eyebrow confidently and intimidatingly and nod slowly at him.
Mr. Muscles?
Mr. Flame Priest.
They just call me the priest. That is all of it.
Oh, all right. Wait, what if there was another priest around?
That's a very good question. You're a man of
Surprised
wit.
this hasn't come up before.
Well, we don't usually have real priests here.
Ah, well. Then hopefully the confusion will stay at a minimum. The priest?
They will nod and they will head on. So
Songda then leaves him to go off to his very secret rooftop bird sending, which no one will see him doing.
Right.
Shining in the bright sunlight.
So I'd like to cut to bringing the four of you together, like in in kind of private chambers there at the household. You've checked to make sure there's no easy egress for someone listening in, that kind of thing. I think Janai, Chow, Bao, you're all there kind of chatting with one another. First Orchid is probably there as well when Song Da comes in that outfit.
It, uh, Bustles?
Yes.
Uh, hmm.
What do you think
That
of my
is a
disguise? It's very
choice.
intimidating, isn't it?
I'll cut an eye to the other two.
And I'm like, no.
Intimidating is a word.
Hardly
It does
anyone
not
was.
apply.
There are stories of mighty and legendary squirrels.
Are there?
Well, I can't be expected to know all of the stories in the world, can I? Surely there must be.
Well, no one would
All I
pick
know
you
is
out
all I
as
know
a
is that on the
wise
way
historian.
here, no one was able to even look me in the eyes, so I think it's working.
That I believe.
Just
That they
looking at
didn't look you in
a room
the
full
eyes,
of people
yes.
covering their mouths.
Yes.
I think Janai is too, like this.
Chow is still frozen in shock, I think, a little bit there.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Oh no.
Yes.
It
What a
was so
wonderful
terrible
still.
it killed their internet.
And Janai does stop and say, why are you dressed like that?
Well, it's a disguise.
You said disguise is to like not be noticed.
No, a disguise is to not be identified. Camouflage would be to not be noticed.
So what do you
Relax.
want to be recognized as?
An intimidating bodyguard that no one would mess with.
Well, you pick
Obviously.
camouflage then.
Hmm. I mean, you don't look like a scholar.
It's working already.
Poor Chow's getting struck dumb, but I've
That
Welcome
outfit
back.
was something, huh, Chow? Knocked you right out of the room.
well, I don't know how much the rest of you have discovered, but I'm starting to posit a theory, that maybe Wheelwright is not dead.
Oh. If that is true, we must kill them.
What?
I have discovered dark, evil plottings here in Bad Valley. He says, with shock in his voice somehow.
Which ones?
I mean, it is called Bad Valley, and they are notoriously dangerous.
Janai and I found this! And I will slam it down, piece of paper down on the table, pointing accusingly. Plots, plans for lies, disinformation, mishistory spread as fact and truth throughout the world amongst people who don't know any better.
I'll look at Jedi with
I had pointed out that this had already happened. And that,
The
Indigo
Bureau
Judgment in
has
some way connected to Bad Valley?
Indigo Judgment was a one-time thing.
No, I'm saying that might be him that
Oh.
this is referring to.
Oh. Yes, yes. If that's true, then many of the perpetrators behind it are already dead. So once we make sure that Wheelwright is truly dead, the whole plot will be buried.
Shadai, was this the entirety of what you found?
no. And it was just one thing, though he was making, but he had a set of discussions of perhaps getting rid of one family or not. But that could just be planted. And she sort of stops and says, it's a lot of notes, a lot of things. What we did find was a strange device. I think that is how and where he sends messages from around the village. I would be curious in looking to see what might be received.
Who are we talking of?
Oh,
Am I right?
Wheelwright. Yeah, but and she sort of says, why do you think he's still alive?
I've discovered an entryway into the ancient areas, which is associated with the throne room. I also discovered, and I will pull out the scientific device.
The geometric compass.
The doctor says that this is of considerable ancient origin.
Yes.
My guess
As
is that,
the
and it was
item I
found at the murder. My guess is that the only person I can determine, I see no good reason to believe any of these others would have committed these murders. I believe that possibly he is hiding in those underground areas known only to him.
Well, someone replaced the broken sword tip found in that skeleton with a different one.
Really?
Which they would only do if they wanted you to think that Wheelwright was still alive.
Well, if there was something suspicious about the broken sword tip, which could mean either that they want us to think there's something suspicious about it, or that there is something suspicious about it, and sneaking into that place past what's his name?
Ji Long.
Yes, Jimmy Long is who has a reputation for. Wait. He said he at one point had that supernatural awareness that no one could get past him, but that was no longer true.
He's been poisoned for many years.
Yes, but also Wheelwright Tantai has been learning secrets from him for years, and would be one of the few people who would know that.
Okay. And she sort of stops and yes, we have found some new things. I would also put forward that I am less certain. One of the things that I have found annoying is that the doctor has been very clear in going, I could have done this myself. I could have, and knows about the things and stuff like that, in a way that I sometimes feel that he is taunting you, Baushi, but this is not the thing. If he is alive, then we need to find him.
Suggest we go into these ancient parts of this structure.
It probably goes all the way down. It is an island that was built on stone. It's a whole foundation below the island.
Maybe tunnels even under the river. So people could leave and down
Yes.
secretly.
Absolutely. It could find all kinds of things. She goes, I would suggest that we not do that tonight, perhaps tomorrow. Do you think that we have exhausted the clues that we can find here?
Think that unless we can manage to find something dropped by some bit of information someone is able to give. Otherwise, I'm not entirely sure that there's physical evidence that we are going to find. I may, of course, be wrong.
Have any of you spoken
I
with
will
Storm
say,
Crane
yeah.
June?
Why would we
I
speak
have
to
not.
Storm Crane?
Well, and I like describe what I've seen her doing, that she seems to be taking initiative far beyond what the rest of her family does.
In what way?
A somewhat secretive way. She seems and I'd like describe, you know, what also she followed Sangda, you know,
Followed
When-
Sangda.
when he left to speak with a person whose name I don't know, and that's fine because I might not know in character.
Crystal Bao Bao,
Crystal Bow Bow.
which we don't know either. And we got
Sog, you
That young woman.
left the valley?
No, just I left sort of the village area.
to do what?
Well, I had to get in contact with someone from the Bureau to see if I could find out more about the families here and their histories.
The important thing is someone here knows that this happened.
And we were told not to.
Oh, that was tremendously dangerous.
Oh, don't worry.
No,
Shaolin-
you've broken our promise.
Shaolin made it clear that she would be a danger of spreading information out there, so I've called her back.
You contacted someone again. You have put all of our lives at great risk.
The future of the past is at great risk.
The past isn't
It wasn't
going
going
anywhere.
to change before we left.
You do not understand the damage that this sort of plot can cause. This could change our entire nation. This could change our history, our people, our culture.
And it could also
us
get
all
us
killed.
killed. So thank you very much for that.
Oh,
Do you think it's going to change while we're here? Can it not wait until we're safely out of here?
well, it's history now, so it doesn't matter. The worry is, who will this June tell? We may need to advance our timetable then. Lost Sog, I agree with you that we should have waited till morning, but we may need to press forward as quickly as possible. Otherwise, we may receive a visit in the night.
Should definitely keep watch at night. Even if she doesn't tell anyone. If someone did kill wheelwright Tantai, they have a motivation to kill us. And if no one
That's true.
did, then they have a reason to kill us.
I could say that the children uh of Wuji, I do not believe had anything to do with his death. They most stridently did not want him passing because they do not wish to take his place. However, Blossom Devouring might have ambitions. She certainly attempted to get information out of me, I believe.
I can see why his children don't want the position. It seems very risky.
If you say that Wheelwright had intentions of cleaning house, this is a way to do it. A lot of
Yes,
these things
yes,
are
this could be a
pointed.
very clever ploy on his part, and that would be very, but it could also be someone else trying to reap benefits before things are all sussed out. If in fact he communicated that things were going to change here, that all three of the families have reason to act. If we're going to go down below, it's going to be very cold there. I would suggest that we all go to the hot baths or something like that before.
I think
As
least
you
one of
would
us.
suggest.
at least one of us, preferably someone with some ability to convince people, someone well spoken, should probably speak to Storm Crane June and see if we can convince her not to spread this information.
I mean, most likely she would be the one that gave the secrets of the family away.
You think?
It's possible.
Well, perhaps I should give her a visit while you take a bit of relaxation and fortification.
I did mention to Songbird June that the monk.
You saw him.
Yes.
Well, it's nice that he found time to speak with you.
She kind of looks confused. Oh. You didn't see him?
Very briefly.
Oh. Well, I did run into him right after, well, and maybe I was the one who interrupted him in his intent. I apologize. I don't know. Because I did mention that we knew that the monk had those. Because what I'm uncertain about is what happened to those notes.
That the monk had.
Yes.
What did happen? Do we know all what happened?
Well, those things would have been picked up and dealt with by Black Pearl and his people. And I think you would know that Black Pearl actually consulted with Master Zhaijing, your friend who is kind of the secondhand man to the mayor. Did I freeze up? Because all of you froze up for me. Am I frozen? Or are you frozen? I think I've lost internet here for a moment. Let's see if it comes back. What is going on?